Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. Originally, this week, I was going to be talking about another thing in regards to Puff Daddy. That was going to be with right now in regards to Justin Bieber and Puff Daddy, because there has been a lot of like speculation of those two were being like very buddy, you know. But then, like as I read that Justin Bieber right now is kind of like in a very uncomfortable situation, but that will be for the next week, because right now there's more of an important issue, the important topic to talk about right now. It's what's happening right now in the state of Florida with Hurricane Milton. Right now, I'm reading on Yahoo that more than 3 million people are without power as Hurricane Milton slams Florida, causes deaths and flooding. And man, today I was watching on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. Man, I saw one dude who was inside of his house, and I guess he cleared out his living room and whatnot. I think it's all over. You can look, you can find it on TikTok, people, and you can see the dude's inside in his kayak inside of his home. You can see like the water flooded the inside of his home. You can see like it was bubbling up, and he says you can see like the foundations being fucked up right now. And like right now, all my life, like I've lived in, I was born and raised in Southern California, and I've noticed in every parts of this country here in the United States of America, like the West Coast, we have earthquakes. The central of the United States would have tornadoes, and also like in the southern east coast of the United States of America is hurricanes, and the northern would be blizzards also. Like, you know, it's weird. Like every country has every part of the country has their own different type of natural disasters. Y'all have never noticed that? And when I remember a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I'm leaving California because there's too much earthquakes." At least now with the technology, if there's an earthquake coming, at least they will let us know. Because right here, in my phone, I have what's called My Shake, and I remember a couple of weeks ago when there was a strong earthquake in the morning. It immediately alerted us. They gave us like that little creepy buzzing sound that they used to do with back then with the emergency broadcast system. They alerted us, and we were all prepared. And here comes the fucking shaking. Well, the thing with hurricanes also, they keep track of what's going on, or where is it formed, where is it passing by. Look, right now it says here that Tampa, Florida. Hurricane Milton plowed into Florida as a Category 3 storm, bringing misery to a coast still ravaged by Helene, pounding cities with winds of over 100 miles per hour after producing a barrage of tornadoes, but sparing Tampa a direct hit. Yeah, you know, I saw something on Twitter that there was this one dude who was filming outside of his house, and I guess whatever it was, a river or a pond, it was gone. I was like, fuck me. And it still says here that the storm tracked to the south in the final hours and made landfall Wednesday night in the Siesta Key near Sarasota, Florida, about 70 miles south of Tampa. The situation in the Tampa area was still a major emergency as St. Petersburg recorded 16 inches of rain, prompting the National Weather Service to warn off flash flooding as well as other parts of western and central Florida. And it says here that Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team in St. Petersburg, appeared badly damaged. Oh shit! It says here on the article that the fabric that serves as its dome stadium's roof was ripped to shreds by the fierce winds. It was not immediately clear if there was damage inside. Multiple cranes were also toppled in the storm, the weather service said. Oh shit. I know that's still the Rays home stadium, because I know for a fact that Major League Baseball approved for them to construct a new stadium, because that stadium it's not really a. To me, the Tropicana Field has never been a real baseball stadium in my eyes. But after what happened right now with Hurricane Milton, I guess they're gonna have to, you know what they say, chop with the construction of a new baseball field for them. It also says here that St. Petersburg residents also could no longer get water from their household taps because as a water main break led to the city to shut down service. There's a lot of things right now that that has popped into my mind right now, because I've seen a lot of people who steadfully refuse to leave their homes because of what's going on with the hurricane. Okay. This is just my opinion. Everybody who works hard and saves their money, their dream is to save up and buy themselves a house, a place they can call home. And I've seen some videos. There was this one woman in Twitter. She's pretty famous. No names mentioned, by the way. And she came on Twitter and she was, you could say, heartbroken. That she says that she worked very hard to build this house, and all of a sudden Milton just came here and just tried to destroy everything in its path. I mean, I don't blame people who don't want to leave, but some people say, "Oh, it's a house. They could build it up again." But you know, it's not as easy. You know how they say easier said than done. A lot of people work hard to build their home, to buy or build their dream homes, you know, and all of a sudden because of this fucking natural disaster happens, it's just sad. And I feel for those people, because some people don't want to leave because of this goddamn natural disaster, that they just refuse to leave their house. And I'll give you another example. It says here that this is on NBC News, by the way. A Florida man riding out Hurricane Milton on his boat alarms TikTok and local officials. It says here that the University of Tampa senior Terrence Concannon was walking his usual route from school in mid-September when he encountered something out of the ordinary, a man in a sailboat, caught in the wind and being dragged out to sea. And says here that not a single person would help me, Concannon recalled the man explained after the rescue. They all think I'm crazy or something. But Concannon told NBC News that he did help dragging a rope and pulling 54-year-old Tampa resident Joseph Malinowski safely to the dock, where he vowed to stay rain or shine. The encounter was the beginning of a viral saga and national news story, with Concannon documenting Malinowski's determination to stay on his boat through Hurricane Helene and now Hurricane Milton, for the millions of TikTok viewers. As Hurricane Milton barrels towards Tampa, where it's forecast to make landfall late Wednesday or early Thursday, social media followers and local officials have expressed concern for Malinowski, who has refused to leave his sailboat and get to safety as of Wednesday afternoon. Forecasters have warned a potential life-threatening 15-foot storm surge, and local officials have warned evacuation areas or face the potential of being killed by the hurricane. And you can see in this picture, they show this fellow here, Malinowski, who is now known as on TikTok as, quote, Lieutenant Dan, unquote, recently moved to Florida and lives on his 20-foot sailboat at the Tampa Bay Harbor. He said he had been homeless for the past 10 years, living on the streets on his scooter and now on his sailboat. Malinowski said that at his 16 years, he had his leg amputated after he was hit by a car. After their encounter, Concannon compared Malinowski with Forrest Gump's Lieutenant Dan, a veteran amputee whose shrimp boat was the only vessel to miraculously make it out of, quote, Hurricane Carmen. Why does that sound so familiar, people? Yeah, you know, I holy shit. That is so similar to the fictional Lieutenant Dan to the real life Lieutenant Dan. You can see the fellow here. He's sitting on his boat with sitting down, and one of his legs was amputated. Oh man, that's must have been fucking brutal when he got hit by a car. I can't even imagine him and the pain he was in, and afterwards losing his leg. That must suck. It says here that Con Cannon first posted a TikTok video featuring Malinowski, captioned, quote, Lieutenant Dan versus Hurricane Helene on September 25th. It's been viewed 1.2 million times. As viewers flocked to his account, they became increasingly concerned with and enthralled by Malinowski's story. Every single video I posted, I was getting thousands of comments like, "Where's Dan? Check on Dan," Con Cannon told NBC News in an interview Wednesday morning. As Helene progressed, Con Cannon continued regularly checking in on Malinowski, who seemingly was largely unfazed by the storm. Though Helene ripped through some parts of Florida, Malinowski said he slept through it. Oh my God, he said he slept through it. It's just like, oh, like he just said it. He just slept through it like nonchalant. It also says here that other than a couple of scuff marks on the side of my boat's in better shape now than it was before it got washed, Malinowski said in a post-Helene TikTok update. Malinowski has had his own TikTok account, which is now over 211,000 followers. He also keeps saying that Con Cannon kept posting videos featuring Malinowski, publishing 24 updates in his last several weeks. He has also launched a GoFundMe page for Malinowski that has raised over $22,000 and counting for Lieutenant Dan. The gesture did more than change his financial situation. And Malinowski said, "I gave up on this world years ago because I have been on my own," he said in a post-Helene update on via TikTok. But Terrence here posted this video and it started getting likes, and people started realizing that maybe he's not just crazy. Maybe he really does need help. And Malinowski said, "Thank you to everybody that donated." He added in an interview, I want to get a bigger boat, something 35 foot, which is in my price range, and make a home out of it. And, you know, in Florida, I've seen a lot of people just live on boats. I mean, he could, if those people could do it, he can do it, you know. But many, including Con Cannon, worry that Lieutenant Dan may not survive Hurricane Milton. Forecasts has said it is the worst hurricane to hit Tampa in over 100 years. And you can see there's a picture here that he's just like pointing at something. You can see that Malinowski, he has like this concerned look on his face. It also says that Con Cannon told NBC he tried to convince Malinowski to evacuate, and he, of course, just insisted on staying on the boat. He also said, and I quote, "God put my heart on me to come here. I came here. I'm not going to run with a little weather. God didn't send me here to die," Malinowski told NBC News. Con Cannon, with the help of Malinowski's growing fan base, was able to secure a hotel room, and TikTok's commentators even offered to keep his sailboat safe, but Lieutenant Dan couldn't be swayed. That's determination right there, people. Malinowski said, "I'm not going anywhere," he told NBC. "I'm in a safe position right now. I'm not at risk of sinking. I'm not at risk of getting hurt. It's cosmetic damage. I can accept that." And according to the Tampa Police Department, several attempts have been made to assist Malinowski and other vulnerable populations in mandatory evacuation zones. They said, "Our entire department was brought to assist with efforts to include door-to-door notifications, use emergency alerts and audio messages to share information and connect our community with resources such as shelters," the department said in a statement to NBC News. The only reason they care about they care all about evacuations because dead people are a bad election point, Malinowski said in response to official calls to evacuate. "And since I've blown up the way I have, they're trying to get me to some place when they know I'll be here tomorrow. Right now, I'm out of their control, and I like it that way." That's a rebel right there, people. That's a fucking rebel right there, and I applaud. Malinowski for that. He's very determined to stay in his boat. I mean, why is the government trying to interfere with this dude, you know? It also says here that in an earlier statement to NBC News, the Tampa Police Department said that Malinowski had plans to evacuate. Later in the day, Mayor Jane Castor said in a news conference that Tampa Bay Police Department has successfully saved Malinowski. They said he has been rescued. He is now in a shelter as well. If we can get Lieutenant Dan to go to a shelter, we can get anyone to do that. Malinowski said, however, that wasn't correct. He said that officers tried to get him off the boat on several occasions, but were unsuccessful. He explained that following the mayor's statement, a city police chief came to the harbor and offered to have the city marine unit keep his boat safe so he could go to a shelter. Malinowski said he refused to go. He said, I'm still on my boat, I'm still afloat, and the rain's coming kind of hard. But that's about it, he told NBC News in a call from his boat several hours after the mayor's news conference. I don't know. I don't understand why everybody's concerned. I've been doing this for years, and nobody was ever concerned the previous times. You know what? He does have a point. Why the fuck are people now concerned for his well-being? How come they weren't concerned with him when he was homeless for many years? That's why he gave up on the world, you know? And Malinowski said that if his boat starts to break, he'll leave for a different shelter. Don't get me wrong, he said. If I start bouncing around and I start hearing things crack and break, I'm getting the hell out of here, he said. But if it's just wind and some heavy rain, I can deal with that. All I can say is, for Mr. Malinowski, I hope you're safe, dude. That's all I gotta say. Just please be safe, Mr. Malinowski. And right now, it says here, let me check out the updates right now. So, let me see the updates. It says here that Hurricane Milton weakens to a Category 1 storm. Some flash flood warnings issued. Let's see. It says here, I'm looking on, and this is CBS News. It says here that Milton made landfall at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. Oh my God, that is fucking powerful. But you know, I feel bad for the people, like I said, who are going to lose their homes because of this fucking hurricane. But you know what? Someone on Twitter said this, and I completely agree with her. What she is more concerned about are for the animals, like the stray dogs, stray cats, any type of stray animal that has to or probably died in this fucking natural disaster. And I saw a video. I think it was a state trooper in Florida who was who drove, and he was on the side of the road, and he saw a poor dog was chained to a fence, and he saved that poor dog. And a lot of people on Twitter were saying, like fucking, like I hope, and it was just like things I totally agree with. I remember even a wrestler from the WWE that goes by the name of X-Pac, he said, I hope that person fucking goes to hell for doing that to that poor animal. And I saw another dude in Twitter who was saving this cat who took shelter because of the heavy rain. He got him. He was meowing. He went inside the car. He was under the seats. It was like, oh my God, that is so. Bless that guy for saving that cat. And even though I don't like to say, well, good for that cop for saving that chained up dog, you know. And like right now, I was reading here that let me see. Here in Southern California, it says here that dozens of Los Angeles firefighters in Florida helping with Hurricane Milton response efforts. And it says here that as thousands of people brace for Hurricane Milton, Dozens of Los Angeles firefighters have traveled to Florida to help with the response efforts. About 144 firefighters from different agencies, including the Los Angeles Fire Department and the Los Angeles County Fire Department, made their way to the Gulf Coast the past few days. The Los Angeles Fire Department sent 43 members after FEMA activated National Urban Search and Rescue Response to request nationwide mutual aid. This group of firefighters from FEMA California Task Force 1 are swift water rescue specialists who will offer technical assistance to the recovery efforts, the fire department said. And I quote, "As the devastation from Hurricane Helene continues to unfold and Hurricane Milton quickly approaches, the LAFD is deploying additional specialized resources to assist those in need of calibration with the Federal Emergency Management Agency and local public safety agencies," said LAFD Chief Kirsten Crowley in a statement. "We stand united in providing relief to those impacted by those challenging circumstances. We continue to pray for those affected by the devastating storms and for the safety of the first responders who have volunteered to deploy into the disaster area." 24 members left to Florida on Saturday, and 19 more left Monday to join them. A separate 18-member LAFD traveled to the North Carolina Friday to help with Hurricane Helene rescue efforts. Milton, now back then was known as a Category 3 hurricane, has the potential to become one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for west central Florida. And there has been a lot of terrible hurricanes that have hit in the state of Florida. But the one that I always remember, I was just 8 years old when that shit happened, was Hurricane Andrew when it hit southern Florida. It was fucking devastating. And it says here, let me see. It says that Hurricane Andrew was a tropical storm cyclone that struck the Bahamas, Florida, and Louisiana in August of 1992. It is the most destructive hurricane to ever hit Florida in terms of structures damaged or destroyed, and remained the costliest financial terms until Hurricane Irma surpassed it 25 years later. Andrew was also the strongest landfalling hurricane in the United States in decades, and the costliest hurricane to strike anywhere in the country until it was surpassed by Katrina in 2005. It says that it was a Category 5 and it hit southern Florida. And I remember watching the news the following day. It was total devastation. And it cost at least $27.3 billion. That's a lot of money. I can't even imagine right now how much Hurricane Milton is going to cost right now in Florida. And this is something that I try to refrain from talking about. Okay, right now, since this is the election year right now, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, refused to take a phone call from Vice President Kamala Harris. He refused to take a call. And right now, I don't know what it is with people nowadays, especially with these ultra right-wing nuts who are saying, who are going on TikTok or on Instagram saying that we don't need help, we can take care of ourselves. Very defiant. Yet they say that we can take care of ourselves, but yet somehow they're saying, if someone says, that's socialism, but when they want help or with financial aid or food, isn't that socialism? That's what really irritates me about those people. And right now, Governor Newsom says here, let me see, he wrote this on Twitter. He said this, and I quote, "When disaster hits, Americans stand united to help one another. California has deployed 354 emergency personnel to Florida to help with hurricane response. Floridians, please stay safe and follow all emergency warnings." I mean, dude, right now when it comes to natural disasters, fuck politics and all that such. They all have to help out each other. But people here on Twitter, especially with what these right-wing nuts are just saying. California, look at this dude right here. Just like using right-wing propaganda, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be telling other states what to do." Concentrate, like just like stupid shit right now. This Governor Newsom is trying to help out people in Florida. You know, he's trying to be a decent human being. Yes, I don't agree with a lot of things that Governor Newsom has done to this state, but right now he's trying to be a decent human being. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, people like conservatives say, "Oh, we don't need help." Get the fuck out of here. You know, that's something that really irritates me. As for me, all I can say is, look, I don't pray because I do not pray. But I will say this to the people right now in the state of Florida, the people who have listened. I've seen some people that have listened in Fort Lauderdale in my podcast. But if people to the followers, and it doesn't matter, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, that people that live in Florida, I just want to say, I will be thinking of you guys. Please be safe right now in this terrible time of crisis. From the bottom of my heart, please be safe, people in Florida. Stay safe. And I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about when it comes to natural disasters because it sucks. You know, people lose their houses, they lose everything. You know, but all I can say is to the people of Florida, stay strong, people. Much love.